Are you looking to grow your career in investment banking? Then this is a very important video for you. In this video, we are going to cover 5 key roles and responsibility of an investment banker, which will help you clearly understand about the investment banking industry and the roles and responsibility of an investment banker, which will make you stand out amongst all the competitors. So let's get onto the screen and discuss each point in detail. So as we have mentioned over here, if you think that investment banking is just about Excel and presentations, then you are only 50% right. There are a lot of things that an investment banker has to do rather than just working on Excel and presentation. Let's take each and every point in detail, starting with number one, building and updating financial model. Now this point has two elements to it. Number one is building, second number is updating. So building financial model takes place when a client gets onboarded with an investment bank and they are looking out for either of two things. Number one could be fundraise, and number two could be an M&A, right? So whenever a client comes in, they have either of these two requirements from an investment bank, right? Because of the core two services, because these are the core two services that an investment banker provides to their clients. The third core service is sales and trading, where there is not much requirement of building financial models for the client. So for building a financial model, the step one is deciding which of the following valuation models has to be used. Is it a DCA valuation model that needs to be done? Is it a comparable companies or a comparable precedent transaction? What is the main requirement of the client? If they are going for a fundraise and it's an IPO stage company, then most of the time comparable companies will be used, where they will be looking out for what are the ranges of similar companies that have recently done their fundraising through an IPO or through series round. So that way they will create a comparable companies analysis. And if it's a series round, most of the time it will be based on DCF valuation, where they are predicting the future cash flows of the company and then finding the present value of the company based on a discount rate. So this valuation method can be used for the series round. And finally, there is precedent transaction, which is mostly used during an M&A. In the precedent transaction method, the investment banking companies are valuing the company based on the transactions that are already taken place in the market and what is the multiple used for that particular transaction, so that similar multiples is given to your client and a valuation range is formed. So the first step that investment bankers perform is deciding on which of the valuation models has to be used for your particular client. So once the entire financial model is created, the next step comes in about updating and stress testing the model. Now about updating the assumptions, lot of time there might be some changes that your client would be recommending to you, or there will be some of the scenarios that you need to build. So stress testing over here means that you are using various assumptions in your model and then seeing what are the changes in the valuation of the company. So there are a lot of variables that can be used to stress test your assumption and see what are the changes in valuation. If you want to access a detailed valuation model for a startup company, there's a link in description from where you can download all the resources related to investment banking. And finally, once you have updated assumptions, you have to then revise your model based on your seniors feedback. So now that you have showed your assumptions and your model to your clients, you have to show it to your seniors as well and then see if they are giving any feedback and changes for your model. So that was entirely about financial model. Once the client comes in, you have to then decide on which valuation model to be used and then create an entire model, get it reviewed by the client, get it reviewed by your seniors, and then make required changes to it. Second key role and responsibility of an investment banker is working on pitch decks and presentation. Here also there are two elements. Number one is pitch deck, which is mostly created when you are going for investments for your client, which could be fundraise through equity side, because most of the equity rounds are led by VCs. A pitch deck is created which includes a lot of information about business, about its metrics, about its finance, about its expansion plan, right? And lot of information that will help a VC understand what the business does and what are its plan in the future. Right? So a pitch deck is created by an investment banker taking information from the client adding some information from their side and presenting it in a very simple and clean and precise format. So every investment bank has their own structure of how they present their pitch decks to their client, and they will follow the same method for all of their clients. The pitch decks that are created will depend on which round of funding the company is going for. If it's a series A round, if it's a series B round, if it's a series C round, the higher the round of funding, the more detailed the pitch deck will be, because the business has much things to showcase on pitch deck. So a pitch deck is created for a client who is going for series round of funding. If suppose your client is going for an IPO, right? So you will then create a DRHP, which is draft red herring prospectus, which is a presentation that you have to create, and it is a very detailed 400 to 500 pager document, which includes lot of information about business, about metrics, about finance expansion, what are the risks of going for an IPO, the economic stance, and lot of things that has to be added to DRHP. You can find DRHP listed on various companies website, and then you can see what are the elements included. For your reference, we will include the detailed DRHP of one of the listed companies so that you can have a referral to it. So as the hierarchy of investment banking is as such, you are at an analyst level, then you move to associate, then you have AVPs, then you have VPs, and finally directors. So as we are talking about the execution part of the things, it starts with the low level hierarchy, and when we talk about the sales part of the things, it starts with upper level of hierarchy. If you want us to create a detailed sales related, that is how deals are brought into the company and how leads are converted, let us know in the comments and we will create a detailed video for the same. So as we are talking that this video is about execution part of investment bankers, the execution starts from the lowest level, that is at an analyst level. And at an analyst level you are working on financial models, pitch decks, which we have discussed in the previous points. Your work is to create this and get these reviewed by your associates and your AVPs and VPs. So that is because you have to maintain the system and the quality of the deliverables that you are working on. Any financial model that is created has to be systematic and in accordance to how investment banking companies want it to be. There should be no error, and the formatting, the alignment of everything should be very precise, because investment bankers need detail to attention to everything that they are working on, and it should be very presentable to the clients and to the investors as well. In this key role and responsibility, as you start with an analyst level, your role over here will be to check in your deliverables to your associates, and the associates will go through entire work that you have done on the financial model, on the presentation, and provide you with their feedback on what are the changes that needs to be made, and then you have to then start working on it. So there might be regular check-in in your work from the AVP level and the associate level to make sure that the work is being done consistently and that the work can be delivered to the clients on their respective deadlines. You then have to understand the bigger picture of your task. Understanding bigger picture over here means that why are you working on a financial model, why are you creating this pitch deck, so that you have a clarity of where is it going to go and what will be the impact of your work. This will help you be motivated towards working and see the bigger picture of if the deal gets done, you will be happy and more motivated towards working in this industry. So that is about understanding the bigger picture. And you have to then incorporate feedback quickly, because this industry works on very tight deadlines. Your analyst sorry, your associates, your avps will be very quick in giving you feedback, and you have to make sure that as an analyst you incorporate them quickly, and that will make you stand out amongst all the analysts that you are working with. So, as the point mentioned over here, learn to absorb feedback like a sponge. It's how you grow. So, that is the most important thing, because your associates, your AVPs are more experienced in this industry. They know how they want the work to be done. As an analyst, you need to be very quick in absorbing all the feedback they give, implement those. So, now moving on to the fourth key role and responsibility of an investment banker: client interaction and internal calls. So, in client interaction, most of the times you are doing review of your deliverables with them, where you have worked on financial model or presentation. Then you are showing that things to your client and taking their feedback if the work that you have done is good or not, and then you need to explain the work that you have done to them as well. So along with that, most of the times your seniors will be doing this work. If you are an analyst, seniors like associates and avps are responsible for the review of deliverables with client. So at that time you have to make sure that as an analyst you are taking client calls and making notes out of it, so that any feedback from the client is being incorporated into the uh, work that you are doing, right? So that is the first key role and responsibility. Second is observe how MDs are managing relationship, because going down the line you have to start working as a associate or a avp. That time you have to build good relationship with your client, because that is most important thing in an investment banking, as you are dealing with huge stakes of money like thousands and thousands of crores. When you are working on a deal, maintaining relationship with your clients will help you negotiate and get your work done faster and in a smoother way. The third point over here is prepare follow-ups and internal summaries. This is related to all the internal calls that are happening in your investment bank. So every day you will be having internal meetings with your team, and then you will be discussing about every deal that is going on in the company. Here you need to present summaries of what you have worked for your client and showcase it to your seniors and give them a update on where we are on this particular deal. And you need to prepare follow-ups if there is an investor who needs to revert on a particular deal, if there is some client who needs to revert you about the proposal that you have sent to them. So you have to create follow-ups for them. And finally, handling urgent requests. So at any point of the time your seniors will reach out to you. It could be 9 a.m. in the morning, it could be 9 p.m. in the night, and they would give you some of the tasks which are very urgent on the deadline. So you have to work on those and make sure that the quality of the work that you do on this urgent request is to be maintained, because investment banking companies prefer quality rather than just quantity of the work that you put in. And if you do your best, you are definitely going to grow in your career very fast. So handling urgent requests, make sure that you are up to the mark on quality and not compromise on it. So that is all about client interactions and internal calls, where you are working with your client and showing them the reviewing your work to them. And internal calls is about progress that you are doing on your particular deal and work that is being done in an investment banking. So that way we complete the fourth key role and responsibility. And finally, the fifth one is quality checks and final deliverables. So once you have completed all the meetings with your client, getting the work reviewed by them, getting the work reviewed by your seniors, you then give a one more final quality check on the deliverables that you are working. Make sure that there are no errors in the model, make sure that there are no alignment issues, and the quality is up to the mark, and that the deliverable is ready to be shared with the investor or prospectus client if it's an M&A deal or something, or with SEBI if you are going for an IPO. You have to send the DRHP file to SEBI for their review, and investment banking has to make sure that. So as 3 points mentioned over here, double check all the data points that you are putting in the deliverable. You have to then track changes. What were the changes mentioned by your seniors, by your clients? Are all those implemented or not? And you need to maintain version control. This point is very important because you will be having so many copies of a single file. You have to keep track that the most recent version is with you, and that you are working on the same file and not working on any of the copies. So make sure that you have kept version control and finalize files for client presentation. So finally, when you are sharing the documents with your clients, with your investors and your prospective clients, make sure that the final files are shared with them. So as an analyst, you are the last line of defense before anything that goes out to the clients or something, because your seniors, your clients have already given feedback to you, and you have to make sure that you are the one who will be implementing those, and that you make sure that everything is double checked, and through you all the things will go through them. So that was it about 5 key roles and responsibility of an investment banker, where we saw that Excel and presentation is a part of it, but it is not the only thing that an investment banker does, which is what is shared around across social media and across the internet. And there are a lot of elements that goes into working as an investment banker. So hope this video will add value to your investment banking career. If you find this video valuable, do give us a like and comment below for the next video suggestion.